Whatever it is that you do, you have to own that and believe that. Because if you're just saying it, but there's no energy behind it, there's no action behind it, it will never come into fruition. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how my mindset has been shifting, books I've been reading, and then action steps that I've been implementing that help me with that change. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, be sure to stick around and check out the rest of the video. Things first, I wanted to start off with the books that I've read / am currently reading, and it's a total of 7. So the first book that I have here is Fearless by Erin Simone. It just talks about journey as a female entrepreneur. It's a 21-day devotional. It's really good. I think that by me rereading it, I'll pick up on some stuff that'll be beneficial to me. So each day, of course, you read a little day within the book, and then towards the end of the chapter, she does a highlight of some other female entrepreneur and talking about their journey and things they've faced throughout their career. Another book that I'm currently reading, I read this book at nighttime. This is Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Let's come with a journal here. I don't journal inside. It just goes through the days you guys are doing, stuff you said yes to, how it's going to help you. But this book in general, she talks about her journey to saying yes. She's a very introverted person, and back in 2013, like, her sister pretty much said, like, you never say yes into anything. She's always was just operating in her own box of comfort. So it just talks about the transformational year she started to have, as well as within her career when she started saying yes to more things. So this is a pretty good read. One book that I listened to on Audible is that We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. That book just talks to women specifically, and she talks about her journey starting her own business. She goes over pricing, how not to sell yourself short, and she talks about outsourcing and delegating things when creating your team, or if you're working by yourself, just to optimize the amount of time that you can devote to your business. Because while we may have plenty of errands and tasks and duties throughout the day, all of those things don't necessarily need to be handled by us. Great read. As I said, I listened to it on Audible, and that's We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. Another book that I'm listening to on Audible is Habit Stacking. So that book just goes over how when you want to create new habits for yourself, you should attach them to existing habits. So for example, if I want to start taking my vitamins more often, I would attach it to me eating breakfast. It's kind of like the cue the book talks about. So as soon as I'm done eating breakfast, it will then cue me take my vitamins, and then over time it just becomes a natural habit because it's building on something that you're already doing on a consistent basis. So earlier in the year, I listened to The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. That book about pretty much waking up early to ensure that you have enough time to do the things for yourself. Like, it goes over 3 different rules, the 3-step success formula, which is like better awareness, better choices, better results, the focus of the choices that you make. PDF here, I'm just looking at that. But the main important thing, of course, optimize your day. He talks about different pockets, which is the 20-20-20 formula. And it says pocket 1 is basically you moving, so that includes you going to exercise. Pocket 2 is reflecting, which includes like journaling, meditation, praying, contemplating. And then pocket 3 is for you to grow. So this is where you're going to review your goals, read books, listen to audiobooks or podcasts, or study something online. My day looks a little bit different. While I was reading the book, I did actually adapt this habit and do this for about 2 weeks, waking up at 5 a.m. However, that didn't really work all that well for me. I needed to wake up a little bit earlier because I wanted to devote a little bit more time to some of these areas. So I want to get a longer workout at the gym. So I find myself waking up between about 3:40 and 4 o'clock to head off to the gym to get about an hour workout in before my day really starts. And then when I come home, I'll usually spend about 20 minutes each on the other pockets. I like to spend some time inside my prayer room. I like to read a book. The book that I read in the morning is the Fearless book, just because it is a daily devotional. It's a short read, and then it poses some questions, gives you some affirmations. But yes, I do think that the 5 a.m. Club is a great book. Another book that I wanted to talk about is Who Moved My Cheese? So I read that book about 2 weeks ago. Very short read. It probably takes about 45 minutes to read. Very simple book. However, it really had me contemplating about which character I was. The book just focuses on change and how we all deal with change, if we're easily adaptive towards it or if we're hesitant and unwilling to embrace change that happens. The only thing constant in this world is change. So when it does happen, you probably want to be on the welcoming side of it versus being resistant towards it, because it's probably going to turn out to be detrimental if you're not being open and embracing change as you should. So it just talks about that. One question that I really took from that book that just I was like, wow, it poses the questions. It says, what would you do if you weren't scared? And one of the characters in the book asked that to himself when he decides to step outside of his comfort zone, and while he's on this journey and going to a place where he believes that it's going to be better for him mentally, physically, he's just he gets halfway there. He's getting confused along the way. He starts doubting himself. And he's just but what if I go back? At least I know that I'm comfortable there. At least I know that I have a friend there. I won't be so lonely and all that other stuff. But then he eventually talks himself out of it. And he's just no, I'm going to keep moving forward. When I originally set out on this journey, I knew that forward was best for me. So therefore, I need to kind of embrace all the feelings that are going through my head, all the negative ones, and just continue to take steps in the direction that I feel is best for me right now in my life. So Who Moved My Cheese? Great, simple read. And the book is so simple. Are you going to be seriously? I think it's from the reviews, people said either they like it or they think it's silly. I was on the like side because there was a lot of things that I felt resonated with me, or I could just see certain characteristics, and I said, I don't want to display those type of characteristics when it comes to change, and I don't want to be that person within my life or within the organization that I work for. So you guys, the last book that I want to talk about here is 360 Degree Leadership by John C. Maxwell. This book just talks about leadership, what that actually looks like, the different types of leader, and how you can lead from various levels within any company, and just how it is a full wraparound type of thing. It doesn't start once you obtain some type of title. It starts from day one within the organization, and the influence that you have on your employees, on your coworkers, on your superiors is all reliant upon how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself day in, day out. Conducting yourself as a leader from the very first moment that you are a part of a company. So you guys, this is just a recap of all the books that have been helping me out thus far this year. Now I would like to talk about how I see my mindset actually shifting. So right here, I do have my vision board. If you guys haven't checked out my vision board party, I'll link video up above. It just talks about me creating that, the party that I had, and then also my goals for this year with my fitness and financial goals. With that being said, things that I see in myself, one is dreaming bigger. There's a lot of stuff on this vision board that I put that I know in the past I would have never dared to put on my board, because I just would have been so confined, and my thinking would have just been girl, you're not even gonna reach that, so don't even put that on the board, wasting space. But now I'm just no, it's something to work towards. If you really want it, put it on your board. Now, while it may not all come to fruition this year, over time, actively pursuing the things that you want, I do think that they turn out to be in your favor most of the time when you're giving the necessary amount of effort towards that. So dreaming bigger is something that I definitely see changing within myself. Something else is becoming more disciplined to the gym, changing up my eating habits. Now, I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for about 7 years, but I find myself even critiquing the type of foods that I'm eating, watching the calories, ensuring that I'm incorporating different types of workouts into my routines, and that's just something that I'm super proud about. Now I'm reading more. I've always kind of been like an audiobook person or read books, but on a very like slower pace. But now I'm incorporating 2 or 3 books into the month, which is something that's new to me, which I actually happen to like. So I see myself, and if I deviate from doing something that I know is going to be beneficial to me, I seem to catch it pretty early and be like, no, like you need to be over here on this side to actively be pursuing the dreams and the goals that you outline for yourself. And then the third thing that I see happening is me pursuing things that all outside of my comfort zone, because I know that that's something that I want to attain, even though it's going to challenge me. Because I know in the past I would have just been like, I'm just too uncomfortable to function, so I'm gonna just exit out altogether. Or I would have thought of a way that I could get the same end result without being so uncomfortable. However, I'm just like, embrace it. It's an experience. It's gonna work out to your advantage. It's okay, talking myself through things that don't jeopardize the safety. I'm sharing these things with you because I feel that 2022 is my year. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it all throughout the year, and I'm gonna make sure that my steps align with what I'm actually saying. And I just want everybody to be at a space where they're claiming or owning the year. And I hope that these tips or things that I'm doing turn out to help you in some way, shape, or form. Last thing that I want to discuss is the action steps that I'm implementing and that I'm going to continue to implement throughout the duration of the year. So this first one is just me losing any type of excuse that I have in operating from a place of intentionality and purpose. Just knowing what I want, what that looks like, and that kind of tacks on to the other goal, which is incorporating habits that align with my goals and vision. So that's me deciding or wanting to do something and then taking a second to reflect about it and say, is this gonna put me any closer to reaching my goal? Yes, no. If yes, I need to come up with a plan to how to implement this into my daily life. If no, I need to exit out and move on. So those two things myself doing quite frequently, like every few days or like every other day per se. Like, it's just like ongoing. Like, is this helping you? Okay. Is it not? Okay. That is a huge thing that I think some people generally just like overlook, is believing the stuff that you tell yourself, and then also avoiding negative talk, because I think sometimes those can be combined together and they turn out to be counterproductive to what you actually want to achieve. So with that being said, I feel that you have to, whether you're reciting affirmations, writing stuff down on the wall, scripting, journaling, or manifesting, whatever it is that you do, you have to own that and believe that. Because if you're just saying it, but there's no energy behind it, there's no action behind it, it will never come into fruition 9 times out of 10. So you have to get out of your own head, which can be very complex. I think it's funny how negative self-talk can really discourage us and hinder us in achieving the things that we want to do in life. So we kind of have to get out of that zone, and as soon as we recognize ourselves doing that, try to find a replacement sentence to like, girl, you will never run a half marathon. Just be like, girl, we need to start with a 5K, and then we'll build our way up, just like smaller steps to get you towards the end of the goal. But thoughts in your head, because you'll make it a habit of constantly talking yourself out of things that might turn out to be beneficial for you. And then the last thing that I have here is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's something that's definitely easier said than done, but I think it's gonna propel me to the next level, because I truly believe that growth only happens in a space that you're uncomfortable operating in. I think when you kind of adapt the mindset, like, dang, like, your girl is really fits to be uncomfortable this whole entire year. However, the benefits that come from me operating from a place of being uncomfortable, I can't even speak on. Like, the things that I feel, the things that I know are going to happen this year for me are like out of this world. Colossal in my Lil Wayne voice. Anyways, not in the sense of weight wise, but so anyways, with that being said, those are the 4 action steps that I'm implementing and that I'm gonna continue to implement throughout this year. So you guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I hope that something that I said in this video resonated with you and that you're gonna find yourself starting to do. In the comments, let me know something that you know would turn out to be beneficial for you, however you're operating from a place of fear. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the comments into the next video, and be sure to take time to enjoy your own journey.